Good morning, YouTube. What's going on? It's Mesa back at it with some Destiny 2. Alright guys, in this video, we're going to go over a number of Warlock exotics, kind of do a review, I guess. Rather than milking it for a number of videos, let's just do it all in one video. Also, by far, my favorite perk and setup on the Stormcaller. Mostly for PvE, and you're seeing it right now, and that is the Arc Soul setup, and that's in the bottom path that you choose on your Stormcaller. Look at all those little balls just shooting at the enemies. When you gather up a whole bunch of Guardians, put down your Rift, very, very effective. Also, if you're watching this on a Tuesday morning, which is reset, obviously, Destiny's going to be down for a couple of hours, guys, from 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to, I believe, 11 a.m. I'll be streaming later on this afternoon and obviously all day tomorrow. I'll be streaming the Nightfalls. I'm going to have 2 Warlocks to run Nightfalls on, and then also the Flashpoints. I want to do my meditations. Right now, my character's up to, I think, 289. So I want to see if I can get up to 290. If you didn't know, Luke Smith tweeted out the raid's going to be between 260 and 280. So just imagining first set of bosses probably going to be 260, and it will get progressively harder. So that's it, guys. So yeah, turn on notifications. I'll be streaming later on this afternoon, and then all day tomorrow when the raids hit. So the 2 main exotics I want to go over, I have a number of exotics, but the first one's going to be Eye of Another World. So it's going to highlight your priority targets, but what I want to test out is it improves the regeneration speed of your grenades, melee, and also your Rift. Now, we're going to test out those times here, but I mainly want it because I want more Rifts, all right? I want to get my Rift back as quick as possible because I love using Arc Soul. So I go with the bottom path when it comes to PvE. When it comes to PvP, I'm sticking with Voidwalker. I need Blink. I love Blink is back. So Arc Soul, the Rift now grants you or any ally that uses it an Arc Soul to aid into battle. Now, whenever I'm doing these public events, there's just Guardians all over the place. If they go near my Rift, they get this little thing that floats around them, and it starts shooting the ads. Now, that works for if you're using the Empowering Rift or even your Healing Rift. I mean, every time I'm using it, I'm using the Healing Rift, right? I don't really use the Empowering Rift that often. From what I understand, if you use the Empowering Rift, it doesn't give these little orbs any type of extra buff in terms of the damage they do here. So I'm using Eye of Another World because I want to get my Rift back. Now, those little bulbs that were shooting things at them, do they do a lot of damage? Not that much. But when you have a whole bunch of Guardians and they all have it, I think it does add up. I also notice it scares off some enemies too. So let's test out actually how long or how shorter it makes your Rift and your abilities recharge when you're using this helmet. So I put it down, and without that exotic helmet on, it's going to take 1.3 minutes for the Rift to come back and fully charge. When I put the exotic helmet on, it goes down to 1.2 minutes. Now, also keep in mind, I did not put any modifications on the armor that would help with the class or any of the abilities or anything like that in terms of regenerating arc type things, okay? So the difference is 1.3 minutes to 1.2 minutes. Is that big of a deal? Well, it's not bad, but check this out. You have another perk in your bottom tree that's called Electrostatic Surge. So the Rift is going to charge faster when your allies are near. So I have noticed, my Rifts do come back faster when I'm close to teammates, obviously. When I was doing the Nightfall this weekend, I just kept staying close to my teammates, and I was using this helmet, and I was getting Rift after Rift non-stop. Especially when you're doing public events, I don't think it has to be people in your fire team, just other Guardians. If they're near you, the Rift is going to charge faster. So, I don't know. I like this helmet for the Rift. Now, for the grenades, some lackluster results here. So, without the helmet on, it's going to take exactly 1 minute for my grenade to come back, and that's not with any modifications to help me with grenade regeneration. When I put the helmet on, it knocks it down to about 53 to 54 seconds. So it takes about 6-7 seconds off the timer to get your grenade back. And I gotta admit, I was kind of shocked by the difference in numbers, that it's not really that big of a difference. However, I think when you're playing the game, actually, it just, for me personally, I feel like my grenades do come back faster and I do get more Rifts. But part of getting more Rifts is probably because I make sure I'm near other Guardians. Remember, that Electrostatic Surge, when I'm near allies or near Guardians, it's going to regenerate my Rift faster. So, I don't know, right now compared to the other exotic helmets I have, this is the one I'm using, and that's probably what I'm going to go into the raid with. But that Arc Soul, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it doesn't do the greatest damage, but it will keep some ads at bay. And here I'm with another Warlock. He's running the same exact thing I am, and you can see we both have those bulbs over our heads, and they will follow you. If you leave the Rift, they will follow you for a little bit and shoot at other ads or shoot at enemies. But you run a bunch of Warlock Stormcrawlers, and they've got these things running. Remember, you could run them on your Healing Rift or your Empowering Rift. It does add up. It just makes for some extra damage. Next up, I got the Lunafaction Boots, and these might come in handy in the raid because the main perk is that it's going to automatically reload your allies' weapons as well as yours. And you'll see in a second, I'll show you some clips. You got to go in and out. So you'll be shooting, you're in the rift. When you step out of the rift, then you go back in the rift, it's going to reload your weapon. So here's me just putting it down, and you can see it reloads everything, right? So if it's your primary, your kinetic, your energy, or your power, just walk back into it, boom, fills it right up. This may come in handy if we're all doing DPS on a particular boss in the raid. Put down the rift, everyone, let's say we're laying in with our power weapons, everyone just steps out of the rift, fires, comes right back in, get a quick reload. Don't have to worry about reloading at all. Now, I also got these, the Wings of the Sacred Dawn, and they look amazing, but I can't stand them. The main perk is that it's going to let you hover in air when you're aiming down sight, and if you get critical hits, it's going to extend the duration of you hovering in the air. I personally don't like it because I feel like it just makes me one big old target. In the beta, when that one perk was active where you'd hover all the time, I hated it. In PvE, in PvP, just makes you a moving target. So these things look amazing. I mean, look at them. I just wish they had some sort of better perk, or better perk for Dawnblade, that is. Now, I also got myself the Sunbracers. So the Sunbracers, that's the Destiny 2 version of the Sunbreakers. So you got increased duration of the solar grenades, and also grants grenade energy on solar melee hits. I used it. Actually, this was my first exotic I got in Destiny 2, and it's okay. It's not bad, but for the most part, I love firebolt grenades for PvE and for PvP. More for PvE than anything. They just feel like they do more damage in Destiny 2 than they did in Destiny 1, especially for ads. You got a number of dregs or thralls. It'll take 3 of them out with one of those grenades if you place it in the right spot. Next up, my favorite exotics from Destiny 1 came back to Destiny 2. They're a little different. These are the Transversive Steps. So they changed the perks up a little bit. So while sprinting, your movement speed is increased, and also when you run over energy weapon ammo, it's going to automatically reload it. Now obviously in Destiny 1, when I got Transversive Steps, I literally never took these things off because it reloaded everything. Heavy, special, primary, but for Destiny 2, it's only going to be your energy. However, there is one ridiculous combination that you could have with these things, all right? So that's me running without the Transversive Steps on and nothing else, all right? Not Mida, not Mida Mini-Tool, and so forth. So now here's me running with Transversive Steps with the Mida Multi-Tool and the Mida Mini-Tool. And remember, the Mida Multi-Tool and the Mida Mini-Tool, that's redundant, they stack. Look at how fast you run. I haven't tried it in PvP yet, but if you need to get out of a bad situation, you could just book your way out of there so fast. It is ridiculous. And the weird thing about Mida Multi-Tools, I use it more in PvE than anything. I felt Mida in Destiny 1 for PvE not very good. It was my go-to for PvP for the longest time, even including like the final year of Destiny 1. But in Destiny 2, nope, I can't get my groove on with it. For me right now, it's all about the auto rifles, man. The Scathelocke is my primary, and the Uriel's Gift. That's an Omelon auto rifle that's kind of like a Vanquisher. I remember seeing it in the IGN footage when they went to go play Destiny 2 when they did the IGN's first for the July, which was Destiny 2. So that's it, guys. Hashtag made it to the end. Babble modes engaged. Do me a favor. Drop a like of this video only if you see fit. Follow me on the Twitter at Mesa Sean. Check out my stream. Usually always on YouTube, and that's it. I'm out of here like Vladimir.